Man, we back. What's up, guys? Oh, dude, it feels like forever. Oh man. I am so glad to be back. I missed you guys. Don't tell you guys I said that, but I missed you guys. Yeah, so no Breath of the Wild today. Not yet. I'm not ready yet. We'll be ready by tomorrow. So we'll just do some more Evil Dead today, man. We'll have a nice chill day. A little bit of a chill day to get back in the swing of things, as it were, before we decide to get into another long playthrough. Cool. I know, dude. I know. Sorry, man. Sorry. But it will be tomorrow. We will start it up tomorrow, man. Boo you, dude. I've been gone for 4 days. You guys. God, you guys. What's up? How you guys been? What's up, Pinky? What's up, Wick? You legends. Did you guys have a good weekend and everything? Guys, what's up? Yo, word. Okay, cool. What's up, Gads? So, yeah, man, that's the play. I know. No Breath of the Wild yet, but tomorrow for sure. Dude, I've got some controllers that I need to fix up. Some of my Joy-Cons need to have joysticks replaced on them and stuff like that. I've got all the parts. I just didn't get it done yesterday, so I need to get that taken care of and a couple of other things finished before we start it up. So we're gonna do that. We'll be ready tomorrow. Hope you guys had a great weekend, man. I missed you guys. So that's what we'll do. We'll do the news, and then we'll jump into some Evil Dead. Yeah. I don't know if anybody wants to play. Let me know. Cats can't hear us. Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna be able to talk so much crap. Get wrecked, Gabs. Oh man, cool. It's good to see you guys. Dude, it feels like it has been forever. I hate taking time off, dude. Let's do it. Let's jump into this new stuff. Cut the music. By the way, if you're not familiar, this is what we're jamming out to this morning. Wick, stop. You're such a troll, dude. Such a troll, dude. This is what we're jamming out to this morning. Some BPM. Amazing game. FPS rhythm-based shooter. Roguelite action. So if you're into any of those genres, you should definitely check out the game. Itself is amazing. Indie dev as well. We love indie devs. And awesome soundtrack as well. So go check it out. Cool. Let's do this new stuff. What's new with everybody, man? What's going on? It's been way too long. Wick, did you get your new computer built, man? Over the Thanksgiving holiday? Don't answer that. I didn't even know. I didn't even put two and two. I've had enough coffee, dude. That's funny, man. Cass could be like, I have no idea what he just said. That's not English. Yeah, sick, Pinky. I'm super glad, dude. Yeah. Me too, dude. Me too. So we're in the same boat. Yeah. Super happy for you. Oh, man. Let's jump in here. Got some new Prime free games for, or Amazon Prime gaming free games for December. We'll take a look at what those are. Since we're on that topic right now, let's go ahead and just look. If you haven't gone ahead and grabbed Star Wars Squadrons, this is a rarity for Epic. Epic almost always gives away 2 games at a time. I really expected to see another game. join Star Wars Squadrons over this past week as the free game, but they didn't do it. It doesn't always happen, but quite often there's 2 games at a time given away. They just don't usually. Sometimes they won't announce the second one until closer till the new week of games starts off or whatever. But if you haven't grabbed this yet, go grab it. Free games, okay? 20 minutes late, went the long way. Oh, dude. Oh no. I mean, you're not having to use roads though, right? You just Prius it. You just Prius it. Lifted Prius, dude. I know. There is also...
Hey, shut your pie hole, buddy.
Thanks, Yabs. On GOG, there is a game that's free. This didn't come up in the Discord server for some reason. Now... Gamer, what's up, dude? What's up, buddy? How you been, man? So the Narita Boy came up, what was it? On the 24th, Narita Boy came up as free on GOG. I think that's where it was. Yeah, GOG. But this title did not. So if you're not familiar, you can, you got a new PS5? Oh, really? Oh, sick, dude. Okay. To try to hopefully circumvent all the overheating issues you've been having. Cool, man. Good. I hope that you don't have any more issues moving forward, dude. That's crappy. Terrior is free on GOG right now. So if you're interested, go grab this, okay? This is a simulation strategy managerial. The other tags that it has on it is atmospheric, resource management, base building, stuff like that. So if you're into those kinds of games, you know, strategy kind of stuff, it's got, I'm sure, some RTS style stuff going on in it. It's free. It is free. So maybe go grab it, give it a try. It is faux free on GOG. Okay, so go give that a look. All right. And on Epic, Star Wars Squadrons. Cool. What game did you get? Gamer? What game did you get, dude? So that's we'll see what else they got on Amazon Prime Gaming. Okay. Been playing lots of RoboBeat. Oh really? Huh? Dude, am I familiar with that? Let's take a look, dude. Let's take a look at at RoboBeat. I do have it on my wish list, so I must be familiar. When did I put this on my wish list? It almost has a same kind of animation or graphic style, if you will, as I think what it is the washed outness. There's a lot of washed out, but there's more color to this than bullets per minute. There's a lot more color than BPM, but it's still, you get a lot of washed out. I think that's what reminds me of it a little bit. So you've been playing this, dude? RoboQuest. Oh, okay. Well, that still looks cool, though. I was going to say, it doesn't even look like it's out yet, dude. You got early access? Got early access, dude. Pinky got that early access. Yeah, okay, cool. Hold on. Let's check out RoboQuest, dude. Yeah, this has been out for 2 years now. Let's check this out. Oh, you got the Ragnarok bundle, dude. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, dude, 2018's God of War looks amazing on my PC, dude. It was really really breathtaking. I'll say that. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, it was outstanding playing the entirety of 2018's God of War, man. And it was how beautiful the entire game was, along with whenever you get to areas of like the snow and everything. The physics behind the snow were just it was so well done, man. It was so incredible to be in a game that looked that good, and then to have the environment also play into the immersion that well was just really, really kind of mind blowing. Huh? Interesting, dude. So this is what you've been jamming out on, huh? Let's watch one more here. This one's only about 30 seconds. Huh. It looks cool. What are we talking here? Okay. This is one of the things that drives me nuts about games nowadays, though, man. Bro, this game released in early access over 2 years ago, and they still consider it early access. You know, like there should be a limit to that. For a game to be in early access for 2 years, that just doesn't make sense to me. You know? Wait, what? Wait, what? Rather eat sand? Word. Yum. Sandwich. You know? I'm down with that. Um, I feel like this is one of those things that needs to change a little bit with Steam. I love early access. I think early access is a great thing for a lot of developers, but there's so many titles that just like never leave early access, and that's so weird. Sandwich, yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. But you're having fun with it, huh, dude? It's got co-op and everything too, huh? It's got some like Borderlands esque kind of look to it, some vibes to it a little bit. I can see a little bit of like Overwatch animation style as well, like Robo Fortnite. I don't know if I'd go that far. Dude, I don't even know if I don't even know if you're kidding or if you're serious, bro. Yo, cool. I'll have to check it out, dude. I'll have to check it out. Thanks, Biggie. Thanks. Let's keep going with the news. How many hours do you have in it at this point, Pinky? Oh, here we go. We've been. This is something that people anticipate kind of every year. If you do any kind of PC gaming and you have an Epic account, they start giving away like a week to a week and a half worth of pretty notable games every day. You have to grab them every day though, so you can't forget. You got to get on Epic every day and grab these games. But we'll see what they might have in store for us here. Round 30ish, cool man, right on. And you're still digging it quite a bit, huh? So roguelite, right? So replayability is pretty good on it. Yeah, I would assume. You got 30-ish hours and you're still pretty invested. Oh, check that out. Over 125 gaming controllers will soon work on Xbox. Really? Oh, cool, dude. Right on. Well, that's great, dude. That's awesome. Again, I mean, the only thing that like, and it's not just that title. For me, it's like I feel like there should be a limit to a game being able to be considered early access. Like there has to be a point where a game gets an early access release, and then there should be a length of the time that it can be considered early access before it literally needs to be a full release, you know, and then it's just considered content updates or whatever as it moves forward. I don't know. It's weird to me that that's become the norm, though. You know, it's like, oh yeah, it's early access, and it just games just stay early access forever now. It's really weird. I'm glad you're enjoying it though. Yo, let's talk about this. 125 gaming controllers will soon work on Xbox. I'm guessing this is talking about, you know, all different kinds of manufacturers and stuff, right? Which, I mean, if you think about it, that's not that wild, really. You talk about Windows. Windows has gotten really good about being compatible with a lot of different controllers. They're just going to make the same thing kind of work with Xbox, right? But it is notable because Xbox has their own controllers, and they've traditionally wanted players to purchase Xbox controllers to play on that console. Now, this is awesome. This is awesome for, you know, just gamers in general that are going to be playing on an Xbox console. How long, if ever, do you think it would take Sony to do the same thing? Let's talk about that. Because I think the mindset here from Xbox is like, yeah, we like people buying our controllers. But ultimately, people being on our console is really what matters. People being on our console, being on our cloud service, being on our subscription service, that's what is ultimately the most important thing to us. So they're making this a quality of life thing for gamers being on their platforms and their console. I don't think Sony will do this for the foreseeable future. It's just like with their subscription service, not having day one releases on their subscription service. They don't want people being able to do anything but purchase their products ever. You know? Wait, what? Is that the same with 7 Days to Die? Last time I heard, I don't think that game even is even finished. Well, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know. Is it 7 Days to Die still early access? Yeah, dude. Yeah, yo, that's a great one, gamer. That's a great example, dude. 7 Days to Die, early access, December of 2013. 7 years to finish. Oh wait, it's more. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a great example, gamer. Yeah, I mean, I think that it should be maybe 2 years tops. You know, a game early access for a couple of years. I think that's really pushing the line for when a game should be considered no longer viable to be able to be put into that category of an early access game. You know, gabs. But we see it all the time. Dude, this is insane. Yeah. Yeah, we're going on almost a decade now of 7 Days to Die being an early access. Dude, what? That's crazy, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be a dedicated point where a game hits full release, right? Like, I have no doubt in my mind that there's a point where 7 Days to Die should have been full release, and everything else that came out afterwards was just additional content or whatever, you know? It's just weird to me that this has become the norm. It's like, early access. Yo, we released an early access. 10 years later, you're still there, dude. That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Yo, good point there, gamer. Yo, that was a great example, dude. We'll talk about this though. That's pretty cool. Yeah, today's Cyber Monday. If you missed out on any deals or you're still in the market for anything, there still should be some pretty nice deals going on today. Today is, for many parts of the world, considered Cyber Monday. There are a lot of tech deals, gaming deals, things like that going on. So look around if you're in the market for anything, okay? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's, that's not abnormal. I mean, with the prevalence of live service games and even if a game is not necessarily an online playable game, most games have some kind of online functionality and even to the extent of where very well developed games, they continue to add a lot of content to the games as time moves forward, right? If the player base remains high and that developer is committed to continuing to bring content to the game. I mean, we see it all the time nowadays. That's fine. I think it's just weird to me that it's become so normal for a game to just be considered early access. Like I don't think that finishing a game is necessarily the play, right? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I think that there definitely needs to be some kind of you know, differentiating between, you know, the base game being completed. I think that's the big thing. Is like, what was the vision for this game to be like? I think that's what Steam needs to figure out too. Is like, you know, for these developers, it's like, okay, you're gonna release an early access, um, then your main game needs to have a what would be considered completion version. What is your completion version? What is that version? 1.0.12 or whatever, and once you work your way there, then it's out of early access, right? But it needs to be done within this time frame, and then you can continue to add to that game like a lot of developers do. As long as people are still interested in playing it, I think there are a lot of developers that don't ever necessarily consider their games to be finished, even whenever the game's dead. They're like, well, I didn't get everything done that I wanted to have finished in that game, in that title. I think that's quite often the play. So I think finishing the game is not necessarily the correct term, but I think I know what you were getting at, gamer, in that notion of having some kind of base finished product that is considered the game being in a fully released playable state. That means no longer early access, and they can continue to roll out updates and content for the game. I think that's the important thing, because that's weird. It doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but I mean, again, I'll go back to what I was just talking about. What game, most games continue to be worked on, but not all of them are considered early access. Uh, let me look this one up. Let's look this one up. Um,
This
so I mean, you talk about a game like No Man's Sky, right? And again, they're not necessarily like an indie dev or anything like that, but you don't have to have an indie dev for a game to be early access or anything either, right? I'm just bringing up No Man's Sky because this is a game that continually rolls out big content updates, you know? Um, and they're not even paid for. That's one of the other reasons I brought it up. These are not content updates that are paid for even. It's not like it's DLC or anything like that. This is a game that is continually developed, and it doesn't cost more for any of that content, but they're also not considered early access. You know what I mean? So I think that's the big thing is like when a game gets to a state of being fully playable in its base state of what it was supposed to be in the first place, it should move out of that early access because it's done. More content can continue coming. You know, that's an absolute. I mean, as has been proven by games like No Man's Sky. You know, but and again, this is a bit of a different kind of example here as well because of what No Man's Sky is and it is multi-platform and things like that. So, but it is a good example of a game that continues to roll out a lot of additional content, doesn't make people pay for it or anything like that either. So, I don't know. It's just always weird to me. And dude, 7 Days to Die was actually a fantastic example. That game's going on a decade, dude, of still being in early access. That's weird to me, anyways. When I think early access, I guess the reason it's weird is because whenever I think early access, I think of a game that is still in its early stages of development, but they want people to get in on the the early part of the playable versions of the game. You know, that's what I think about early access. And I guess that's why it throws me off whenever I see a game that's been out for over 2 years that's still in that has that tag or is considered early access. It's always real weird to me. Okay. Dude, I shouldn't have done past 24 hours. I should have done more than that, but whatever. I'm just so used to putting this on there. And we're already 3 pages in, so whatever. Maybe I'll change it for the next search. We'll change it for the next search. Will there be a PS5 price cut? What? They just increased the price of PS2. Yo, by the way, there's a huge bundle. If you guys didn't see it on Steam, there's like a Valve bundle right here. Valve Complete Pack. Guys, this is $6 if you haven't seen this. $6 you get like Counter Strike, Team Fortress, all the Half-Life games, the Portal games, Left 4 Dead, like Team Fortress 2, all these games for like $7. So yeah, it does. I just was just bringing it up in case anybody was interested in like numerous of these games they didn't have. That's a pretty good price, dude, for like $6. $6 for all these titles if you're interested in these games. I had just forgotten to bring it up because a lot of these sales kind of happened while right as I was taking time off to go do the holiday thing. So this is another one of those things I saw. If you're interested in these titles, it's a pretty nice package. There's a lot of good games in here. The Portal games, Team Fortress games, Half-Life games, all that stuff, you know. So if you're interested, it might be worth grabbing those. Future DC games will connect to its universe. Extended universe. Let's take a look at that. Need for Speed Unbound leak reveals 1 hour of gameplay. Let's see what they have to say about that. We've touched on this a little bit already. Again, I think it's a bit that We'll talk about it when we get there. We'll talk about it. Onion Games' new sandbox RPG due out in 2023. Let's see what that's about. Yeah, we already talked about Star Wars Squadrons. That's a free game on Epic, so we get that. Let's go ahead and pivot here. Pivot. I can't think, man. But let's do we'll do past week, whatever. It's fine. See what we got. Yeah, we've got this is the same thing that we just brought up a second ago, so I'm not gonna pull that one up as well. Outer Wilds is supposed to be amazing. I haven't played it yet, but I would love to before long. Have you guys played Outer Wilds? I have only heard amazing things about that game. What is this? All right. Let's take a quick peek at that. We'll see. It is. It is. Look, man. I mean, and not everybody agrees. Everything's subjective. We talk about that a lot, but God of 2018's God of War was up there and like I would say easily top 5 games of all time for me. It was an all encompassing great experience. It was a lot of fun. The story was great. It presented a very very difficult game for me that I still haven't fully completed. And I enjoy that. I enjoy very difficult games. So that was fun, but it was beautiful. And there was just about everything that they did for that game culminated in an amazing experience. And it was an absolute pleasure to play through and through, even if I mauled it out while I was playing it. We already talked about that before I left. Yeah, if you're not aware, NCAA football game, North American football, right? EA is bringing back the college football, NCAA football game. And the thought was that it might be ready next year. That's not going to be the case, however. Apparently, EA has come out and stated that the game will not release until 2024. So there are a lot of people hyped about this game. It'll be at that point a decade since the game had its last release, and there are a lot of people hyped about it. There are a lot of people that loved the NCAA college football games back then, and they're hyped about it coming back. But unfortunately, if you're one of those individuals, you're going to have to wait about another year to a year and a half before that game actually is close to releasing, okay? What? What? Live stream video shopping. What is QVC? Yeah. What? What? Another noteworthy contender in the mix is Amazon-owned game streaming platform Twitch, which hosted its third Hog Picks live shopping event the days before Thanksgiving. What? What is this? Dude, I've never heard of this. All right, we'll take a quick peek. Have you guys heard of Hog Picks, dude? On Twitch? What is this? Oh, here we go. Sony claims Microsoft's true strategy is to make PlayStation like Nintendo. Bro, what? Oh, dude. Dude, Sony's really reaching now, dude. Sony's really reaching, dude. Come on, man. Yeah, bro. We'll read that. Sony's reaching, man. Oh, jeez, bro. Sony's freaking out a little bit, man, about this Activision Blizzard purchase by Microsoft, as they should be. But I think it's gonna happen. That's actually really funny. Oh, dude. Overwatch 2 reveals in-depth gameplay for new hero. We'll take a look at that. Netflix is hiring talent for a brand new AAA PC game. Okay. Flipping Sony, dude. Looks like Gran Turismo 7's boss says he's considering and looking into a PC port. Basically claiming that bringing the title to PC won't be easy. I'm not going to jump into this. We got enough. We got enough articles for the day. I don't want to push anything too heavy. I think that's the gist of what this article is going to tell us. So I'm not going to bring it up. Just know that if you're a GT fan, a Gran Turismo fan, and especially I think if you don't currently have a PlayStation to play GT7 on, but you're a PC gamer, there is the potential in the future that maybe GT7 comes to PC, okay? I think that the big thing to keep in mind is that Gran Turismo 7's been criticized pretty heavily for the transaction mechanics in the game, stuff like that, so be aware of that. To the point of where they even, after the release of the game, found out how people were going about grinding in-game currency and patched out the ways that people were doing it to prevent people from being able to grind currency as efficiently as they were in order to prompt people to have to look harder at spending real money in their transaction shops, which is, in my opinion, a pretty terrible move. I used to play a lot of Gran Turismo back in the day, and just because of that kind of stuff, I'll just stay away from it. Terrifier 2 video game could be happening soon. Cool. See what that's about. Yeah, this is just Rogue, or Star Wars Squadrons, right? That we talked about on Epic Games. So if you're not familiar, go grab your free Star Wars game on Epic Games right now, okay? New Batman game leaked. Take a look at that. I don't know, look. We talked about this already too. If you're not aware, Battlefield 2042 has Season 3 starting now. It just started, I think. And it's also on Game Pass at this point. So if you're interested, check it out. I would say probably your best bet is to go play it for free on Game Pass. The game has not done very well because it was a pretty big piece of crap whenever it released. It was in a pretty terrible state on release. Lots of bugs, game-breaking bugs that kind of made people not want to play the game very much. And I think they've gotten into a better point now, from what I understand. But I don't know. It's out there. Season 3 is running. And maybe if you're not into Call of Duty or something like that, but you want a AAA space FPS, then try out Battlefield, new season. I don't know. Especially if you've got Game Pass, it might be worth a look. You do you, you know. New Alien video game targets released late next year. We just talked about the fact that they're making a new Alien video game that we don't know too much about yet, but there is kind of speculation. It could be something more along the lines of something closer, at least related to an Alien Isolation-esque gameplay for an Alien game, which we haven't ever really seen since Alien Isolation. So we'll take a quick peek at that too. Let's dive in these. We got a lot of articles today, so. Overwatch 2 reveals in-depth gameplay video for new hero. Overwatch 2 is getting a new hero next month, and Blizzard has revealed a brand new video showcasing the character. Latest hero is named Ramatra, and the developer is calling him the game's first tempo tank. And we talked about this. We talked about Ramatra a little bit, right? Yeah, he's got a couple different forms, the Omnic form and Nemesis form, both which offer unique abilities. We'll watch the video. Basically, it's like this Ramatra's got these two different forms. And as a tank, it's like more of a defensive form and an offensive form for a tank, right? Is what we've come to find about this character. So see this. All right, here's your video of Ramatra.
Hi everyone, I'm Q Fang, lead concept artist on the Overwatch team. Our newest tank hero, Ramatra, is our first tempo tank, with the ability to change states moment to moment, embodying two forms, Omnic and Nemesis form.
Show me what you
Looks dope.
got.
When in Omnic form, Ramatra fights using his Void Accelerator staff. Its primary fire shoots out a stream of nanites in a fixed pattern, dealing steady damage. This ability has slow travel time, but no damage fall off. It's great as a poking tool, plus it does increased damage if you hit headshots. The secondary ability while in Omnic form creates a barrier at a targeted location. This barrier has a lot of health, but it only lasts briefly, so it's meant to be used tactically to close the distance as you poke and push objectives on the map. When Ramatra needs to get up close and personal, he can enter his Nemesis form, which grants bonus armor and changes some of his abilities.
Big old chonky boy in that form. His other form looks like he almost has like some kind of like wings or something.
This is a forward punch that creates a wave of energy with every swing. The shockwave from this punch deals piercing damage that goes through shields and can hit multiple enemies in a row. The secondary ability in Nemesis form blocks and significantly reduces damage taken from the front, but reduces his movement speed. This can also expose Ramatra's back and make him vulnerable to attacks from behind. Regardless of which form he's in, Ramatra can use his Ravenous Vortex. He projects a ball of nanites onto the ground, spreading a damaging field that slows enemies caught in
Are
his
those
vicinity,
wings,
and also
or
pulls
is it
enemies
just
down.
like a?
For his ultimate ability, Ramatra automatically enters
I'm interested
Nemesis
in the
form
wings,
and
alright?
unleashes Annihilation, a wide energy swarm that lashes out
That's
towards
what I
any
need to
enemies
know.
in range,
Are those
dealing
wings,
constant
dude?
damage. While
Or is
enemies
that
are
just
in
like a
range of the
split
energy
cloak
swarm,
or
its
cape?
timer will pause, keeping the swarm and Ramatra's nemesis form active. Ramatra as a tempo tank is all about playing around the cooldown of nemesis form. You want to use the primary fire on Omnic form to soften up your opponents, and when you're ready, go in with nemesis form and pummel them.
Fight until you fall.
We can't wait to see what players are going to do with him. To learn more about Ramatra's lore and design, please check out our other dev update videos. See you all in
Cool.
game.
Character looks cool, man. All right, there you go. For we had already touched on this in some previous news segments. We knew Ramatra was coming. For all of you Overwatch players, you know, I think there's a bit of hype around the new tank here, especially with the mechanics of changing forms and being able to kind of switch between big defense stuff and then some offensive stuff as well. So I'll throw the entire article here into chat in case you're interested in checking out exactly what the entire article has to say. But again, we've read about and talked about this character a bit already, so I'm not going to dive in depth there. We saw a lot in the video as well, so there you go. Netflix is hiring talent for a brand new AAA PC game. Company's new LA studio is led by Overwatch's executive producer. Netflix is currently hiring for what is called calling a AAA PC game, according to new job listings. As spotted by MobileGamer.biz, the entertainment company is looking for a game director at its new LA-based development studio. We're looking for a creative and highly skilled game director to help us forge the game direction and creative vision on a brand new AAA PC game, the listing reads. As game director, you will be the creative leader on one of Netflix's first generation of internally developed original games. Although no further details are given about the game, the listing does end by saying that, quote, experience with FPS and or third-person shooter games is preferred. Netflix Vice President of Games Mike Verdu stated last month that the company would be opening a new LA studio, confirming that it would be led by Overwatch executive producer Chaco Sonny. Sonny left Blizzard in September of 2021 as one of a number of high-profile Blizzard departures taking place at the time, with a Blizzard statement saying he was leaving to take some time off. Explaining how Sonny's hiring was evidence of Netflix's ongoing commitment to making games, Verdu added, "You don't get people like that coming to your organization to build the next big thing in gaming unless there's a sense that we're in it for the long haul and the right reasons." Okay. So we've been following Netflix's kind of venture into gaming, right? Over the, very heavily, anyways, over the past year. And again, this is just going to be another test of their staying power, right? This is going to be actually their biggest test yet, right? So they've still got, I think, roughly 10 games left to release on their platform by the end of the year. End of the calendar year. They're at somewhere around roughly 40 games that can be accessed on their application, their streaming application, right? And there's some notable titles that they've picked up. Into the Breach, Oxenfree. What is the name of the game that's up for so many awards? I can't think of the name of it right now. I apologize. That feels bad. But they do have some notable titles on their platform right now. Okay, Gebs. Yeah. So they've made some good moves. They've taken over some notable development studios and they're building up this kind of division of theirs, the Netflix gaming stuff, right? I mean, I've kind of said this all along that gaming can be a very profitable and lucrative venture for businesses, but it doesn't just automatically mean that you're going to be successful in it. And time will tell. it takes some good business moves. It takes some good strategy, and it takes good content. I think they've done a fairly good job at this point of bringing in some notable titles to their platform. But this is going to be one of the big telltale signs of their staying power and how well they're going to do in the gaming industry by actually developing some AA to AAA kind of content and what that turns out to be. You know, how well received is that going to be? What kind of content are we looking at? And you know, time will tell. Time will tell. So we'll see. Terrifier 2 video game could be happening soon, according to director. Terrifier 2 director Damien Lorne has his sights set on a video game adaptation which could bring silent scares to the asymmetrical I can't talk. Survival genre. Sorry. I need more coffee. Damien Leone, the director of the recently released slasher film Terrifier 2, has expressed interest in a video game based on the grisly horror flick. The movie follows Art the Clown, a demonic entity who appears on Halloween night to wreak bloody havoc on a town and its residents. Terrifier 2 has proven divisive thanks to its incredibly graphic skills, and the gruesome experience may soon get a terrifying interactive adaptation. During a recent interview with Gaming Bible director Damien Leone expressed enthusiasm for a Terrifier 2 video game in the style of the Friday the 13th game released back in 2017. Leone explains that he has already been contacted by a video game company interested in adapting the horrifying film, and he is apparently very interested in the idea. Yeah. Yeah, while Friday the 13th, the game was a popular slasher experience, the current trend of asymmetrical multiplayer horror games really kicked off with 2016's Dead by Daylight. Yeah. The title puts 4 players in the role of survivors who must fix generators strewn across the map to lift gates and escape the area. Yeah. I think that we've seen a lot of mimicking, if you will, of what Dead by Daylight has made so popular in this 4v1 scenario with the survivors versus the antagonist, the villain, whatever you want to call them. And I think that horror games that want to follow suit have to. I mean, it's fine to incorporate it. It's been something that a lot of people have gravitated towards, right? These multiplayer experiences. I mean, we're playing one now, and I'll talk about my at least my own perception of how things are evolving and what games that want to jump into the same kind of genre need to do. We're playing the Evil Dead the game, right? We played it the past few days. We're playing it today before we start Breath of the Wild tomorrow, right? And I think what they've done with Evil Dead the game that I find to be nice is that the game takes a combination of elements from things you'll see in both Friday the 13th, things you'll see in Dead by Daylight. It kind of mashes them together, as well as adds a little bit of its own variety of things in there. And I think that any game that wants to jump into this same kind of genre of the 4v1 scenario, all of them are going to an extent be mimicking Dead by Daylight, because that's the way things go. Greatest form of flattery, right? I mean, that's the world. That's the gaming industry. Developers copy things that other games have done very well because they're fun. and that's appropriate. But you don't want to just mimic something to the T and slap a skin on it that looks different, right? Because then it's just the same game looking different. Yeah, there needs to be something, some other unique kinds of mechanics or incorporations into the game that set it apart from these other titles that have already been developed. You know, I think that's the big thing. So we'll see what happens, and you know, Terrifier 2 video game potentially coming to us before long. Okay, Mamzelle, what's up, Mamzelle? How are you? How's that puppy? New Batman game leaked. A brand new Batman game has leaked online. Batman is one of the most iconic and popular superheroes out there, which has in turn made him a prime subject for video games. While the character has moved mountains for the superhero genre in film, he has also been responsible for a key turning point in video game adaptations. The Batman Arkham series was essential in helping superhero games feel more premium and not just cheap. Yearly releases that often tied in with a new film. Spider-Man games began to suffer over time as a result of this, but Batman managed to break this mold and create something that stood above all the other games it was releasing against. Despite the conclusion of that series in 2015, Batman has still been around thanks to ensemble games like Lego, Multiverses, and Injustice, but it's been a minute since he had a proper solo game. Yeah. A new one may be on the horizon, courtesy of Camouflage. I like that name. Camouflage. Camouflage. As spotted by Jank Rotgers, an FTC court document notes that Camouflage is working on a new Batman VR game for Meta. The developer is known for its work on Iron Man VR, a game previously exclusive to PlayStation VR that has now made its way to Oculus after the studio was acquired by Meta. Document notes the team is working on a Batman game for MetaQuest headset. Doesn't offer any other details. Rocksteady made a VR Arkham spinoff a few years ago, but it seems more likely that Camouflage will do its own thing. That name, dude. Only time will tell what this game looks like, but Meta is trying to curate a healthy amount of exciting first-party titles for its headsets. Rockstar Games has even made a deal to bring Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to Meta headsets in the near future. It's likely deals like this will continue to happen given Meta's deep pockets, but who knows if it will pay off. Huh. Yeah, I mean, the Arkham games are iconic. Yeah, very well done Batman games, very well received Batman games, and but we haven't really had too much other than what they kind of noted in here, like multiverses, you know, him showing up in Injustice or Lego games, and but in the realm of a traditional kind of more realistic version of who you would be as Batman in Gotham City stuff. You know, we haven't had anything like that in a long time at this point. You know, 7 going on 8 years now. And I don't know, WB might want to take a look at you know, taking a step back and maybe diving back into the Batman stuff they did so well. As opposed to what their most recent release has been doing, you know? OAverse win? Oh, bro, it's coming. You didn't know, but you're already there, dude. That's how good it is. Look at Overwatch 2. Not only they made the gameplay seem as Overwatch 1, they also made the rest of the game same as Overwatch 1. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what a lot of people have talked about. We've even talked about it here. You know? So tired this morning. What? Saw my battery percentage at 103? Bruh, I am still asleep. So, I think that's what a lot of people kind of, you know, when the whole Overwatch 2 thing was getting ready to roll out and there'd been the betas and everybody was talking about it and playing it, it was like, dude, this is basically the same game, you know? I think the only thing I could really come to a conclusion about was that the potential was trying to create a a better base for the game moving forward from a development standpoint of what they might be able to do with Overwatch 2 as opposed to what was on the foundation there of Overwatch 1. But I don't know. I don't have any of the details behind any of that, so I have no idea. But apart from changing, what was it? It went from a 6v6 to a 5v5, and then changing from a paid game to free-to-play that went also from loot boxes to basically you buy anything you want. Those are the big changes, yeah? There's not much else, really. So, I don't know, man. From what I understand, most people honestly prefer the game the way it was, too. I don't think they're too put off by the way it is now, but I think most people actually prefer Overwatch the way it was as Overwatch 1 than Overwatch 2. That's just what I've gathered from, talking to people about, because I don't play it. But the people that I do know that play it, that's what I've gathered. Well, we'll see what happens with Batman. Maybe you'll be able to play as Batman in some VR here before long. That'd be wild. Yeah. New Alien video game targets released late next year. Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, I know. That's what I've been kind of hearing from people too. Is like people are even at the point where they're like, dude, I wish we had loot boxes back. Like I feel like that's when things are getting kind of rough, because that's one of the things I'm talking about. That's what because I've actually been polling people quite often, like people that I know have been playing Overwatch, and they played in Overwatch 1 and in Overwatch 2. I'm like, how did you like it more? Did you like the loot box system, or do you like the way it is now? And almost everybody goes, I want it back the way it was. Give me loot boxes back. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Crazy, man. More chances to blast xenomorphs. Another video game based on the horror sci-fi classic Alien is in the works, but very little is known about it at this early stage. We've already kind of hit on this again. The game, according to a report in Insider Gaming, is currently being developed. The developer was not revealed and is looking at a release date near the end of next year. So we're talking the end of 2023, yeah? The survival horror game codenamed Marathon reportedly will be for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. I'm guessing it'll come out on S as well, Xbox Series S, but we'll see. Usually if anything releases on X, it'll come out on S as well. The game, according to the report, will draw inspiration from the Dead Space and Resident Evil video game franchises. It is speculated this new game may have something in common with Alien Isolation. Again, that's kind of what we had read about a week ago. A 2015 first-person horror game set within the Alien universe, which is actually noted as, a very, very iconic horror game. Alien Isolation is. We played it a little over a year ago at this point. The playthrough is on our YouTube channel if anybody wants to check it out. It was a great playthrough. I think the only thing that got a bit rough with it was the fact that there was a lot of... The first half of the game really had me. The first half of the game was very anxiety-inducing because it felt like I never knew when the xenomorph was going to pop out, and I was going to have to be, running and hiding from it and things like that. And then the last half of the game, it was like that's all it was. It was just the xenomorph was everywhere, and it removed the element of scariness. I think it became more of a, can you just get from this area to the next without dying? It kind of, just got rid of the scariness of the game, if you will. The last half, it was still a lot of fun. I'm not saying it wasn't, and the first half of the game was fantastic as far as the scariness went. And it's iconic. Alien Isolation is a great title. People still play it constantly to this day because it is a very well developed horror game all the way around. And I think that doing something along those lines again, having it doesn't have to be Alien Isolation 2, but having some of those same very well done components as Alien Isolation could be a very, very good thing for another Alien game. Instead of what quite often you've gotten in Alien games, which is, fighting aliens with weapons or whatever, a bit of a more can you be stealth with maybe some subtle being able to fight it off to an extent, things like that, which is what a lot of what Alien Isolation was. In addition to this new game, Aliens Dark Descent announced that this year's Summer Game Fest is also slated for a 2023 debut. No details on this game have yet been provided, so stay tuned for announcements on both titles. Yeah, we'll see. I think something Alien Isolation-esque, again, it doesn't need to be the same exact thing, but something incorporating some of those mechanics could be very, very good for Alien. Sony claims Microsoft's true strategy is to make PlayStation like Nintendo. Dude, I can't. This is too much, Sony. This is too much. The company argues that Xbox will become the home of FPS games if its Activision deal is approved. Look, man, Sony's projecting is what they're doing. They're scared, as they should be, and they're projecting. They're trying to do everything they can to make Xbox look like the bad guy in this scenario, to keep this purchase from happening. There are absolutely pros and cons to this potential acquisition of Xbox taking on Activision Blizzard. Don't get me wrong, okay? I've talked about it a lot, and I'm not going to go into depth right now about it. We got enough articles to get into. What I will say is that I think it is actually for the better that Xbox be able to purchase Activision Blizzard, because I think that Xbox will be able to turn that company around. Activision Blizzard has not been a very good company for quite a while now. And I think that Xbox can do a lot of really good things with the extensive portfolio that company has that Xbox would acquire from them. Here's what I find funny. PlayStation is basically crapping their pants right now, right? And what it's doing is Xbox being able to acquire Activision Blizzard is kind of going to turn the tides, if you will, on this whole competition that has been ongoing forever between PlayStation and Xbox, right? PlayStation has always kind of been, if you will, head and shoulders above Xbox in this competition. They've been able to just kind of sit at the top and just relax, if you will. They've always sold about double, if not more, consoles, hardware, and stuff than Xbox has. And they've just had an easier time, whereas Xbox has had to constantly find ways to survive in this competitive market, especially with their primary competition being PlayStation. Because let's be honest, Nintendo kind of sits over in their own little market of the gaming sector. Nintendo's a different entity, if you will. And Xbox has always had to be real creative and inventive about the way they've had to stay afloat, compete, and be profitable in opposition to what PlayStation's always been able to do, which is just sit there and rake in money off their consoles and stuff like that. Because Xbox has literally never made money on consoles. So I think what's funny at this point is that PlayStation has found themselves in this predicament where they're actually very, very scared right now about what this means for them moving forward if Xbox and Microsoft is able to proceed with this purchase of Activision Blizzard, as they should be. But what's funny is that the reason they're scared is because they've always been the one that just got to sit on top and not really have to worry too much about doing anything different than they've always done things. Whereas Xbox is the one that has always had to create ways to find, whether it be their cloud service or their subscription service, they've had to find inventive, creative ways to be profitable outside of just consoles and their software, first-party software, stuff like that. So basically what it's going to do is completely, turn it to where PlayStation's going to have to start looking to work harder, to be more inventive, more creative in the future to compete with Xbox. And they don't want to do that. So what they're doing is projecting Xbox at being the ones who are trying to be anti-competitive. Which is actually hilarious. They're trying to say that Xbox is being anti-competitive by purchasing Activision Blizzard, when really it's PlayStation that is being anti-competitive because they don't want things to change. They don't want to change with the times. And look, again, there are pros and cons with any kind of acquisition that happens in any form of business, right? Any area of business. It doesn't have to be gaming. It doesn't have to be entertainment. It can be anything. Any company that purchases another company, they're inherently along with that comes some forms of anti-competitiveness, right? But ultimately, I just love the fact that PlayStation is really trying to project this as Xbox being anti-competitive when it's really them, I'll read this now that I've said my part. Well, Overwatch 1 had to be bought like a regular game. Yeah, and Overwatch 2 is free to play. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Mamzelle says, Overwatch 1 had to be bought. Yeah, and Overwatch 2 is free to play. Yeah, and they have the Battle Pass now. Yeah, and I can understand it, but I also hate it. Much rather pay for the game and have that old system. Mamzelle, that's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, Pinky, you're not wrong. Yeah, and I think that's what everybody we've talked to. That's another thing, Pinky. That's another thing. Yeah, I actually hate that. I hate that. Playing a game that I enjoy and getting to the end of a battle pass, and there's still like a month and a half to 2 months of the battle pass season left. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm done here. And I don't know. I might go back. I might not when the new season starts. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Pink, you're absolutely right, dude. Yeah, Mamzo, that's exactly what we were just talking about. That's the consensus, like, that I've gotten from most people that have played Overwatch 1 into Overwatch 2 at this point. They have that same exact feeling that you do. That same exact sentiment. That it's like, they wish it was still the way it used to be. Pay for the game up front. No battle pass. Get those loot boxes, Yeah. Yeah, Pinky. Yep. Yeah. Yep. No doubt. You guys are not wrong. And I feel the same way. I mean, that's one of the things we talk about all the time, right? I find it really wild that we have to talk about this so much because to me, and not that everybody agrees, but quite often it seems like there is a majority feeling behind the way developers incorporate mechanics into games, especially live service kinds of games like Overwatch or, whatever you want to, Call of Duty. It doesn't matter. And they still have such a hard time getting things right, which is really, really wild to me. Obviously, bottom line plays a big role for most of these companies, and there's not always a huge, especially these AAA developers, they don't have a huge concern for what is going to be ultimately the best option for us as gamers, right? Because what it comes down to for most of them is what's going to get them the most money. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. But yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Sony has claimed that Microsoft's true strategy behind its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard is to have PlayStation become like Nintendo and not compete in the 18-rated shooter space. Even though PlayStation just bought Bungie, by the way, like, what is Bungie noted for? For what's their most notable game? All right. Can somebody answer that for me? Huh? PlayStation. Yo, what's Bungie's most notable title? Currently. Modern. Notable title. Anybody? Destiny. Destiny 2. Oh, yeah, Destiny 2. The comments were made in a newly published response to UK regulator, the Competition and Markets Authority, decision to expand its investigation into the proposed acquisition. In its 22-page response, Sony Interactive Entertainment alleges that if the deal were to go through, users would leave PlayStation's ecosystem, Microsoft could raise Xbox prices, and independent developers would be harmed in the fallout. You know what's funny? And look, man, I've said this many times. I used to be a big fan of PlayStation. I did. But today's date, I trust Xbox with this purchase of Activision Blizzard all the way around way, 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 way more than I would trust Sony with it right now. Sony purchasing Activision Blizzard would scare the crap out of me. But I'm actually fairly comfortable with Xbox taking it on. As has been the trend with the regulatory back and forth, much of the document focuses on Call of Duty and the perceived harm Sony claims the Activision Blizzard deal would cause should the flagship franchise be made exclusive to Xbox. In one section of its statement, the platform holder singles out comments made by Microsoft that other platforms have prospered without Call of Duty, including Switch. In its latest response, Sony says this claim ignores the facts. Sony Entertainment argues that Nintendo's strategy is differentiated from PlayStation and Xbox because it doesn't rely on 18-rated shooter franchises, games which it argues Microsoft will have virtual exclusive ownership of should the Activision deal be approved by global regulators. In this sense, it alleges Microsoft's true strategy with the Activision Blizzard deal is to make PlayStation like Nintendo, in that it does not compete in this space. Microsoft claims that that Nintendo's differentiated model demonstrates that PlayStation doesn't need Call of Duty to compete effectively. But this reveals Microsoft's true strategy. SIE's statements reads. Microsoft, what that right there, all this does is proves to me that PlayStation is scared and they don't want to have to change anything about what they're doing, right? So they're calling Microsoft anti-competitive in this acquisition, but really they're being anti-competitive because they don't want to have to change anything they're already doing. when something like this happens, right? They just want to remain comfortable. They like things the way they are, you know? Microsoft wants PlayStation to become like Nintendo so that it would be a less close and effective competitor to Xbox. Post-transaction, Xbox would become the one-stop shop for all the best-selling shooter franchises on console. Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, Doom, Overwatch, as the decision explains, and it would then be free from serious competitive pressure. So develop something different. Sony, how about that? If you're that worried. And at that point, basically, they would still have Destiny 2. They would have Battlefield, because Battlefield would probably become a PlayStation exclusive at that point, unfortunately. So let's not act like Xbox would have every single, FPS game. Now that I guess Destiny's more of a third-person type of experience, huh? It's not FPS, but can it be played in both? I can't even remember, but it's close enough. All right, let's be real here. While the Activision deal has been approved by regulators in Saudi Arabia and Brazil, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority recently expanded its investigation to a second phase. It is in the process of inviting members of the public to share their views on the acquisition before giving its final decision by March 1st of 2023. In its explanation of its decision to approve the acquisition, Brazil's CADE said it agreed with Microsoft's claim that PlayStation did not need Call of Duty to remain competitive. I agree. As is already seen, Nintendo does not currently rely on any content from Activision Blizzard to compete in the market. Nope. But again, Nintendo's always been a bit different, right? I mean, if you want to look at it like this, I mean, the Switch is more like what Disney does to fairy tales, right? That's what the Switch is, right? Or what Nintendo is. That's what Nintendo is. Nintendo is like what Disney has done to fairy tales. And PlayStation and Xbox are more like where gamers go to play games that are unaltered fairy tales. You know? If you will. So we'll see what happens. But that's actually hilarious. Twitch throws its hat into the crowded live video shopping ring. Did you guys know this? I've never heard of it. Apparently, this is like the third year. Live stream video shopping is the latest elusive holy grail in online marketing. E-commerce brands are starting to experiment with live stream video shopping. Earlier this month, QVC and the Home Shopping Network announced a partnership with Roku to launch the first free live shopping streams on the Roku channel. And in September, Walmart Connect debuted an invitation partners category that, for the time being, consists entirely of live video shopping integrations. Another noteworthy contender in the mix is Amazon-owned game streaming platform Twitch, which hosted its third PogPix, quote, PogPix, live shopping event the days before Thanksgiving. Twitch has expanded the non-endemic brands on its platform, as in brands beyond the video game studios and electronics manufacturers that typically advertise there, said Adam Harris, global head of the Twitch Brand Partnership Studio, which produces the event. Twitch's PogPix, Pog, an acronym for play of the game, is gaming slang for something excellent. Features a mix of curated products selected by staff and influencers as well as sponsored brand insertions. Items appear in a carousel in the stream. Clicking them typically links out to an Amazon product page. There's no policy requirement, and some brands do opt to link their own sites or a different fulfillment option. If I was to distill down what PogPix is, it's kind of QVC meets Japanese game show, he said. Unlike on other live shopping platforms where brands usually buy time and feature their own talent on the stream, the brand partnership studio cultivates its own stable of creators from the Twitch platform. For example, the brand partnership studio is beta testing an Amazon ads product with live stream shopping partners this season called Rewarded Moments that allows brands to reward groups of users with bonuses such as a discount, a free sample, or an in-game boost on Twitch in exchange for working together to meet a certain goal. If, excuse me, if, for instance, enough streamers post in the chat about the makeup brands they use, then the whole group could qualify for a L'Oreal discount or Twitch credits. Interesting. So more marketing, yeah? More marketing, more ad space is basically what this is. Interesting. Okay. See how that works moving forward. Amazon Prime Gaming free games for December leaked ahead of reveal. Here we go. Yeah, okay, so first and foremost, to claim these free games, Amazon users have to have a Prime subscription, okay? So if you want to get a hold of these games, you need to have a Prime subscription. There are ways out there, if you don't currently have a Prime subscription, there are various ways that you might be able to get a free Prime trial, okay? So if that's something you're interested in, do some research, do some Googling, as it were. You might be able to find a way to get a like month or two of free Prime, and that way you can get some free games and in-game content, okay, on Prime Gaming. What are they offering here? Looks like December's free games will be Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which is an amazing game. Amazing game. Quake, Spinch, Doors Paradox, and Banners of Ruin. This has not officially been confirmed. This is a leak, so grain of salt there. But more likely than not, these are going to be the titles coming for December. Yeah. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. This is getting this got some age to it now. But yeah, from the director of It Takes Two, same director of It Takes Two, and it's a very, very good game. Very good game. Story rich. Very, very well-known title there. And basically, it's an adventure game. You're playing as these two brothers. You have to use each of the characters to kind of traverse the environment, help each other out, get across. You got to get away from certain elements and enemies and things like that. The other titles, Quake, right? Spinch, psychedelic 2D platformer, extremely colorful graphics and a dose of humor. Doors Paradox takes players on a journey through time in a point-and-click game with multiple endings and a mysterious atmosphere. Banners of Ruin is a roguelike deck builder with turn-based combat and a dark air that may remind players of the creepy lo-fi world of Inscription. Interesting. Cool. There you go, guys. If you need more, I'll throw this in chat real quick. But those are your free games for Prime if you've got Amazon Prime, okay? Epic Game Store reportedly bringing a wholesome Christmas cheer with new free games every day. Yeah. Over the past few years, the platform has been providing Epic Games platform has been providing new free titles every week. However, when Christmas rolls around, Epic Games Store becomes Santa Claus, and it gives away several free titles as part of the holiday sales. Basically, they give away new titles every single day for like roughly a week and a half, almost. Yeah, last year's holiday sale saw Epic Games Store offering around 75% discounts on several titles. Moreover, from December 16th through the 30th, so that's 2 weeks, the platform also featured free new titles every single day. In 2020, the store featured 12 games for free as well. And quite often, these include some notable, high-profile games that they give away for free, but it'll be for 1 day only. Every single day for like I would say prepare for about a week and a half. Maybe they'll tell us here though. So the Advent calendar of free games on Epic Game Store will take place between December 15th and January 10th. Excuse me. What? If this is for real, this means that compared to last year's 15 days, the Epic Game Store holiday sale will now feature 25 days worth of free new games. Prepare for the fact this might not be right. What this might be actually referring to is that this is going to be 25 days worth of sales. And you might get more of about a 15 days of this time period here that will include a free game every single day. But I'm not saying they're actually wrong either, but just prepare for that. It might not be every single 25 days being a free game, okay? While you wait for Epic Games' announcement for the reported holiday sale, head over. Yeah, right now, Star Wars Squadrons is free, okay? But yeah, for the past couple of years, they've done this, and just prepare for the fact that, and if you're not familiar with Epic Games Store, right, the platform, it's very easy to access. If you don't have the desktop app, you can actually just access it through their website on mobile or desktop or whatever. As long as you have an account, you just log in there, scroll down just a bit, and they have this free game section, okay? Whenever, as you can see right now, Rogue Squadrons is free, or Star Wars Squadrons, excuse me, is free until the 1st of December. And on the 1st of December, you get Fort Triumph and RPG in a box. Those will be free, right? But whenever the holiday giveaway starts, which is around Christmas time, you'll get free games here every single day, but they'll only be available for 1 day. So you got to like get in here every single day and grab your free games, but they will have some very notable titles. So get ready for that, okay? Over 125 gaming controllers will soon work on Xbox thanks to third-party accessories. Third-party gaming manufacturer Brook has announced a follow-up to its Wingman XB controller adapter, which enables even more controller options on Xbox consoles. Basically, the new adapter allows users to play various Xbox consoles using PlayStation pads, old fight sticks, and more. Although the vast majority of compatible controllers must be used wired with the Wingman adapter, the new Wingman XB2 has widened its wireless capabilities. Now you can use the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, DualShock 3 and 4, DualSense, Xbox One Bluetooth controller, and the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller wirelessly on Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox X and S, with original Xbox requiring a USB adapter. Nice. That's cool. The Brook Wingman XB2 adapter releases on November 30th. Should be widely available at various retailers when it launches. The previous version is currently available on Amazon in the UK and the US, so expect to see the XB2 crop up there in the near future. The original seems to have pretty good user reviews on Amazon, so we're intrigued to see how its successor shapes up. So this is not something that Microsoft is actually doing, but they it is a product that has been developed that allows other controllers to be connected to the Xbox, which is still very cool. Very neat. Very neat. If you're interested, here. Quality of life for gamers, man. That's good stuff. Future DC games will connect to the DC universe, confirms James Gunn. Writer and director James Gunn has recently become top brass in the new DC studios, which means he's now jointly in charge of all future adaptations of the comic book heroes. Apparently, the plan is for most DC Extended Universe projects to fall under the same banner, much like the better-known Marvel Cinematic Universe, excuse me. Unlike Marvel's efforts, however, it seems DC is planning to include video games too. A fan asked Gunn on Twitter whether future DC games will connect to the DC universe. He gave a straight yes. What this potentially means is that such titles as Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Wonder Woman may tie into the same continuity as the movies and TV shows. It's still very early to see the effects of that decision, but all it'll really mean is future games will become part of the DCEU's canon. We imagine it'll be similar to how Star Wars handles its web of movies, shows, and games. It's a different tactic to Marvel's, which has elected to keep its games separate from the Marvel's cinematic universe. The likes of Marvel's Spider-Man, Marvel's Avengers, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, to name a few, are their own unique take on the material. It's worked well in most cases, so we're intrigued to see how DC's plans shape up in the coming years. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, we'll see how it plays for him. Need for Speed Unbound leak reveals 1 hour of gameplay. Yeah, so to preface this, we've taken a look at Need for Speed Unbound. The game actually looks pretty good. What I find what's turning me off about it anyways, is, and I haven't played Need for Speed games in a while, but there are a lot of loyal fans of this series. And even for me, even for myself, that somebody that hasn't played a Need for Speed game in a while, one of the things that you'll notice right away when playing this game is that it has a very heavy amount of like comic book to anime style aesthetic that goes along with it. While there's the majority of the game looks very realistic and it looks very good and very well done, you'll see the smoke that comes off of the tires, or whenever you hit your nitrous or make a jump, you get all these like really weird comic book cartoon anime style effects that like pop off of your car. And to me, it's very off-putting. And I'm curious to see how fans of this series feel about this, new style of animation being incorporated into the series. So Need for Speed Unbound is set to release early next month. Those on the fence about the new EA racing game can get a very close glimpse thanks to a big leak. As reported by Insider Gaming, more than an hour of footage from the game was streamed on Twitch. It has now been shared on YouTube by a user known as Mr. Carrot. Footage has been broken up across multiple videos and features a mix of different cars appearing in the game, as well as the customization options that will be available. For obvious reasons, we won't be hosting these videos, but readers interested in finding them probably won't have too much trouble. Random mode time. Get your random modes in there. Nice. Need for Speed Unbound is the 25th entry in EA's popular racing franchise. Jeez, dude, I didn't know they had that many already. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that throws me off is it's not like an arcade style game, though. Which is where a lot of that I think fits. Obviously it's not necessarily a realistic-ish kind of experience. You're not going to be hopping in a car and go, like city racing and driving away from cops and stuff, right? In that aspect. But the way the games, most of the game's visual representation is done is very realistic looking. The cars look great. The city looks very good and realistic. That's, I think, what is throwing me off is, I outside of that, you get all these like real weird like comic book. So it's almost like they tried to mesh a realistic looking game with some arcade style. Well, yeah, but that game also doesn't look like. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't come off as a realistic looking game either, though. You know what I mean? So it fits better there. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I'm cool with that. I'm not against that kind of stuff in a game, but it just doesn't seem like it fits. And when you're talking about a game like this that has been, I guess my thing is it's off-putting to me because of what Need for Speed has always been. And I think that there are going to be a lot of traditional Need for Speed players that might find it hard to embrace. Maybe not. And maybe if I played it, it wouldn't bother me as much. But it's just what I've seen from the game so far that it just doesn't seem like those two styles of art fit very well together. You know what I mean? When you've got something that looks very realistic and looks very well done and polished, and then all of a sudden you've got like cartoon crap flying off of it, it's like, why? You know? I don't know. It just seemed weird. It seemed weird to me. So I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at. I'm definitely not against like comic book, anime, cartoon stuff. I like all kinds of graphics and artwork and things like that. It's just a real weird kind of mashup, I guess, for me. Yeah, Need for Speed Unbound is the 25th entry in EA's popular racing franchise. The new game is set to take place in Lakeshore City, a new location based on Chicago. Unbound is being developed by Criterion Games, a studio that is no stranger to the series. The team developed 2010's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and 2010's Need for Speed Most Wanted. Also worked alongside Ghost Games on 2013's Need for Speed Rivals. Since then, Criterion has mostly helped out on the Battlefield games as well as the Star Wars Battlefront titles. Their previous Need for Speed games have been well regarded by fans and critics, so it will be interesting to see if Unbound can reach similar heights. Back in May, EA announced that Codemasters Cheshire had been merged with Criterion to work on the Need for Speed franchise. Over the last few years, the team had been providing a support role for Codemasters games. It remains to be seen how the collaboration will work out, but Need for Speed fans don't have much longer to wait to find out. Need for Speed Unbound is set to release December 2nd on the Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. And in the meantime, readers can check out all of our previous coverage of the game right here. Yeah, I mean, we've seen some officially released gameplay or trailer stuff of it. That's how we've seen that. But I'll throw this in here, and if anybody wants to see the gameplay that got leaked, you'll just have to look that up because it'll be DMCA stuff, and I'm not gonna look it up right now. That's just my again. Who knows? I mean, the game looks very good as far as racing games go, and I think it's a weird incorporation for me to have a game that's designed in a style to look very, very realistic. The city looks very realistic. The cars look very, very realistic and really well done. And then all of a sudden, it's just like comic book stuff popping off of your car occasionally and stuff. Yeah. The gameplay looks good. It looks good. I think that's just the thing for me was like, I just didn't know. I mean, I think it's because they're trying to appeal to a younger audience. I think that's what it is. And again, I to me, it's weird seeing it. Like even the smoke even is real cartoony, real comic book looking, that comes off the wheels. And then if you keep watching, you'll see where like there are graphics that like cartoon comic book style graphics that like fly off the cars when you do certain things, like if you hit a jump or you hit nitrous and stuff. And it's I just didn't know what the point in that was really. Like for a game that comes off looking very, very polished, very well done, very realistic, to have that kind of incorporation in it. I guess maybe it's just my personality. It didn't really appeal as a very good mashup of I would prefer for it to just look realistic. all the way through, you know? Instead of like maybe I'm, you know, got into something maybe I shouldn't have ingested. You know what I mean? And I'm maybe seeing some things in the world that I shouldn't be seeing. You know, I don't know. But to each their own, man. But I will say the game looks very good. Yeah. Onion Games' new sandbox RPG due out in 2023. Yoshiro Kimura touches slightly on the game's theme. Onion Games' new sandbox RPG, which was first announced in December of 2020, will launch in 2023. Director and game designer Yoshiro Kimura said in a new Ask Kimura segment sent out to the Secret Onion Seller newsletter subscribers. As for the theme of the RPG, Kimura could not share a definitive answer, but said, "What I can say is that this time I've been thinking a lot about children." It's a weird quote. That's the main thing I've been. That's a weird quote, dude. Uh, okay. Onion Games' RPGs are known for having a specific theme. Moon, for example, was about love, while Tulip was about kissing. Uh, so, ask Kimura, when will the new game be released? Next year. I guess a child themed game. That's a weird quote, though. I've just been thinking about kids. That's weird. uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I see what they're trying to. I mean, they're trying to appeal to something different. I think that, dude, I didn't even know there were 25 Need for Speed at this point. Jeez, that's actually insane. Yeah, I think they're just trying to do something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think, yeah, I like the smoke's okay. Some of the like more subtle like incorporations of that kind of art style for some of the stuff I'm okay with. But like the wings like popping out and stuff off the car, I was like, I don't know. Even to the point of like some of the graphics that I've seen pop up like on your wheels and stuff were just a little bit much for me. I can agree with you though. I think some of the stuff looks fine, and it's not like the smoke looks too cartoony. I think it's a decent mix of it looks good. It looks good. I think the smoke looks okay. It would just take me a little bit of time to get used to it, I think. With a game that looks so realistic and then having some of those incorporations of a, you know, more comic book style art style thrown into the mix where the game doesn't fully look as arcade. You know what I mean? I'm not totally against it. I just think it is a stark contrast from anything we've seen in a Need for Speed game, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So I think it's going to take time for people to embrace that. But I think there is some of it that's just a bit too much. Like you said, like the wing stuff, you know, like how it like the cartoon wings like shoot out from the car when you like do you know, you get air on the car. I was like, dude, that's I don't know, that didn't appeal to me at all. So I think we're kind of in the same box there a little bit, Pinky. Yeah, same basket, whatever. We're in the same enclosure. um, let's see here. Trying to TLDR this real quick for us. This is basically it's pretty vague about what this game is going to entail, and besides the fact that Kimura is apparently very interested in children, which seems like a weird vibe. I don't know, dude. I'm probably taking that the wrong way, but I think anytime an adult says, "I'm just really interested in kids," yeah, it comes off a bit odd, But if you want to see more about that, I think I know the way that it was meant. But there you go. This is the last one I have for the day. Credit where credit is due. Video Game Association calling for proper acknowledgement. So this will be the last article I have. If you guys have anything else to add, I know the segment's a bit long today, but we had some catching up to do after the stream being down for the past 3 or 4 days. So while I was away on holiday, but if you guys have anything else to add, let me know. We can talk about it before we move on to some Evil Dead gameplay for today, and then Breath of the Wild 2 tomorrow. Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild will start tomorrow. That's what I meant to say. Some video game developers are calling on the industry to overhaul how it credits workers on games to give proper recognition where it's due. Warner Brothers Entertainment recently released its anticipated open-world role-playing game Gotham Knights. Developed by WB Games Montreal, several of those that worked sometimes hundreds of hours on the game were irked when the company released the credits, which were posted on YouTube. While it recognized some workers with both a name and a title, producers, programmers, VFX artists, etc., many are included in a long special list thanks without any mention of their involvement in the game. Quote, "It doesn't make sense to me that people who were hired last minute during the last 6 months of development get a full credit. People who gave years of their lives in this get pushed to special thanks, additional thanks, or are forgotten," said one Montreal-based designer on the game. Another game designer who appeared in the special thanks section gave proper credit. Is important to prove a professional accomplishment and demonstrate experience. Look, I mean, that's one of the reasons that every time I finish a game in this channel, I always let the credits play all the way through. Even games that I was not very fond of. Even games that I've finished that I'm not very fond of, I have let the entire credits roll. Because ultimately, there are numerous people behind the development of these titles that we play, and they've quite often put in a lot of, time and hard work and effort and vision and their passion into these projects and these amazing experiences that we experience here. And so the least I can do upon finishing these games is to let the credits run and shine a little bit of light on who was involved in the process of making these games. So I agree with this. I think that anybody that had anything to do with the development of a game should absolutely be listed in the credits, along with what their particular role was in development of that game. Whatever that means for how long the credits would be, they should be there. When you spend your years of your life developing a game, putting your heart and soul into it, to not be credited is a disregarding of your contribution, they told CTV News. It's insulting and disappointing. It costs the studio literally nothing to credit all those who contributed. Absolutely. In fact, it's more work to create a ridiculous tiered acknowledgement hierarchy. CTV News is not publishing the names of those who spoke out for concerns over career repercussions. Nazi Fares is the head of localization and communication at Four Winds Entertainment and is part of the International Game Developers Association, IGDA. He said his first credit on a game after working on about 30 of them was in the special thanks section. He's part of a team trying to encourage gaming companies to improve policies and practices for crediting those who work on video games. Most companies tend to forget that it's a big aspect of proof of what you have done on that game, he said. Imagine an artist painting a huge painting and putting it in a museum and it's unsigned. That is not something you would expect, right? Video games cost millions of dollars to produce, take years, and involve hundreds of workers. The Gotham Knights credits, for example, included more than 100 people in the special thanks section, with 5 more in the additional special thanks section. Lack of credit runs far beyond the Montreal studio, some say. Yeah. No union standards. Gaming industry, unlike film and television, does not have robust unions that negotiate terms to include crediting for their members. The employees who worked on Grand Theft Auto 5 were contract workers who often find themselves off the credits, unfortunately. Yeah. Contracted or not, doesn't matter. They still contributed a part in creating that title and therefore should be credited as such. The chaos before launch. Final 6 months of developing a video game are chaotic. There are bugs to work out, deadlines to hit, and a multitude of questions to answer before the game is shipped and ready to be played. Doesn't matter how organized and professional your studio is, there's a lot that goes into making a game and everyone's scrambling. Adding credits, said Patel, is often an afterthought, and in many cases, no one is assigned to the task from the outset. A producer, he said, is typically tasked with crediting and needs to work backwards to determine who worked on the game and how. There are other considerations, contractors, fired employees, or those that quit to work for a rival company, for example, who can be left off the credits. Yeah, when you don't have that policy in place, it ends up being a judgment call, and I think that's where things can fall off. Yep. Yeah, I'll throw this in there that's the gist of it. It's obviously a quite a daunting task, but here's the thing. If this is something that is at least incorporated to a greater extent as something, obviously, this is not as important of a part as much of the rest of the development of a game, right? But it is nonetheless a very important part of giving credit, specific credit, to the people that played a part in the development of these games, where people should not just be thrown into special thanks. They should be actually noted for what they contributed to the development process. And I think the best thing that can be done is that some kind of more involved process for the game's development plan has specific periods where the credits are addressed as how are we doing with the list of credits? You know, the people that are involved in this. Anybody new that comes on that starts work, they get added to that list automatically. Anybody that I don't know. There needs to be a more involved process for the credit system because it is a big deal. The gaming industry is from what I understand, pretty brutal for a lot of people. No matter if you're, on, contributing to the coding, the graphic design, the music, writing, it doesn't really matter. It's a very competitive market, and having your contributions to titles noted in the credits is pretty significant, I would say. So finding ways for developers to be better at ensuring that everybody is annotated in the credits in their particular role of what they contributed to the titles, I would say is pretty critical. And I'm glad that there's a group out there working to try and shed some, or you know, show the industry that there needs to be a greater concern for this having importance moving forward. Yep. That's what I got. It was a long one today. Sorry. But we had some catching up to do, so I kind of figured it would be a bit of an extended news segment. You guys rock. It's so good to be back, man. Oh, God, I missed you guys. You have no idea. I missed you. So it feels like I've been gone forever. I don't usually take time off, but it was good to be with family and have a bit of a holiday. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything you do for this community, and thanks for being part of this news segment. If you're checking out this content as a VOD on Twitch or YouTube, and you're enjoying what you're seeing here, then see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself, the rest of this community, whenever we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. We start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we jump into whatever gaming content we have slated for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for what will be November 29th edition of Video Gaming News, and it'll be day 1 of Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Cool.